And what's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night here at the PTA Network, and that means it's time for Political Ketchup. It's our weekly political news show where, we catch up with everything politics, but we try not to go overboard, and we don't do it every day like the pros do. We let them handle that. Anyway, I am your host for tonight. I am Oddball Stream. I have no idea what Frodo is, but he's probably doing something, so not going to worry about that right now. Anywho. Oh, never mind. Hang on.
Fashionably late, but here.
Well, hey, I don't think 1 minute is fashionably late. Not
Yeah.
again. Why does my camera do that to me every time?
Because it's weird.
Yeah.
So I want to say this is one occasion that I'm glad where I was wrong.
Yeah. Thank God, nothing happened.
Exactly. Thank
Whew.
God nothing happened, but we all know that it could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
My only bet is that someone in the White House said this isn't a good idea. This is going to backfire on you. And honestly, I'm glad they did. Because I really didn't want to have to deal with that kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Whew.
Anyway, for those that don't know what we're talking about, last week I had said that it would not surprise me any if on
Easter.
the 3-month anniversary of his inauguration, if he tried to uh initiate
Martial law.
yeah, martial law. Well, he didn't. I don't know why, but he did not.
And Sajo's in the chat room. Hey, Sajo. I wonder. I mean, this is probably a long shot guess. Is it possible that he didn't do it because Pope Francis passed away, maybe? Just a
That
thought.
could have been. That really could have been it. But, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thought that him doing that with uh with Mr. Francis gone would have been a bad thing. But
Mm-hmm.
who knows? I don't want to know how that idiot thinks.
Yeah.
No offense.
No. And and Trump is planning on going to the Pope's funeral. Bet you anything, he's gonna turn it into all about himself again.
He always does.
Yeah, it's always got to be about me, me, me. But then again, anything he does becomes it's all got to be about me, or I don't, or it's not gonna matter.
True.
Oh yeah, I found out something today. He's gonna be Trump's gonna be the commencement speaker at the University of Alabama.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but I have a pretty good idea there could be a bunch of students probably turn their back on him or doing something. You know?
Honestly, I'm surprised that he's still got fans. I mean, serious talk. He's like, he's like, it's like seriously, so much of what he's doing is just going against his own people.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
What?
Oh, one of my interesting wallpapers just came up.
Oh,
But I do have some good news, but not political.
okay. What is it?
Today, Bethesda released a new game.
Ah,
Well, it's not really a new game, but here it is, Shirley.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay, give me a second. Oh, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered.
Yep.
Of course, I've never
Unfor-
played the Elder Scrolls, so I have absolutely no clue.
Unfortunately, while I was looking at my library,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that it did not automatically add to mine because I already have the original Elder Scrolls 4 Game of the Year edition.
Mm-hmm.
But at $49, that's not bad.
No. Uh-uh.
So I might. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Yeah.
And I've got a 4-footed fuzzbutt who's just sitting here like, hi.
About that.
Anyway, so more of the shit that's been going on with politics today.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone actually looked at Truth Social?
Not recently. Of course, I don't follow True Social, so I have no clue.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good thing. I don't, I don't, I'm not a part of Truth Social. I just go in there to see what the dipshit says.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's also going to be at West Point too.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Um, so I'm going to breach something that he said.
Okay.
And Shirley, if you would like to,
Uh-huh.
I would like you if you'd be so kind just for fun.
Uh-huh.
In this post, be the role of Donnie.
Okay.
I really want to see how I can do this because I think it'll be fun.
All right. Yep, too. All right. Okay. Ooh, hope it'll let me to get in here. Okay.
So, Donnie, what do you have to say today?
Well, this is the man, Kilmar Abreu Garcia, that the courts are trying to save from being deported. He was supposed to be, according to the judge and the Democrats, a wonderful father from Maryland, but then they noticed he had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles, and lots of really bad stories about his past. This is the game that is perhaps the worst of them all. What is wrong with our country?
So, first off, I have to give a bit of credit to you for some truth. MS Sauvignon 13 is one of the worst gangs in the world. In fact, Cedar Rapids for many years had a Sauvignon 13 problem on Blair's Ferry Road. Luckily, we got rid of most of that. Most of them got evicted and put on blacklists in the Cedar Rapids area. That being said, that's the only thing I'm giving you credit for, Donnie. What you have there are 4 random tattoos where you put overlaid MS-13 on.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. The only 2 that could be possibly labeled as MS or as any of that is is the pointer and middle finger, the marijuana leaf, and the smiley face. The problem is Sauvignon 13 doesn't hide who they are. Sauvignon 13 are proud to be Sauvignon 13.
Mm-hmm.
Sauvignon 13 love their gang. So if he was really Sauvignon 13, don't you think he'd have a shit ton more tattoos of Sauvignon?
Yeah.
I mean, one tattoo set Yeah, but if you look up and Shirley, do this on the live stream so people can see you.
Okay.
Do this, okay?
Oh, excuse me. All right.
Do a search for uh
Okay.
MS-13 tattoos
Okay. Give me just a second here.
and do an image search on it.
All right. All right. Oops. Let me try that again. MS13 tattoos. There we go. And we need images.
Yep. You might have to go down a little bit, but most Savanio 13 members will have a tattoo under their neck. Most Savanio 13 members will have tattoos all over their back saying that they're Savanio 13.
Mm-hmm.
Most people will have it all over because, and this is the biggest thing that people don't understand,
Uh-huh.
Savanio 13 is not afraid to be called Savanio 13. And I'm going to tell you this as a fact that I know. Gang members from the Savanio 13 gang really do not give up the lifestyle. Okay. So if he was Savanio 13, you could be about 99 to 97% certain that he would still have all the tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but I have a problem with anyone calling him a gangbanger when all he has is the one tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Whoops.
Could it mean Savanio 13? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could he have gotten it because he thought it looked cool? Possibly. But most of the time, you're not allowed to get a gang tattoo unless you can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt you are part of that gang.
Mm-hmm.
The problem comes down to Savanio 13 is one of the dangerous gangs out there, one of the most. There are the Crips and Bloods and, the Gangsta Disciples, all these different gangs. But you want the most dangerous gangs in the world. Savanio 13 is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to hear me say it's not.
Right.
But you want the most dangerous gang in the world. The most dangerous gang in the world. Yeah. Salvatura
Let me see.
MS-13.
Let's see. Mara Salvatrucha.
Yep. It is one of the most dangerous gangs in the world because of their ability to do shit.
Yep.
The problem is they're not the only super dangerous gang out there.
Right.
Okay, Savanio is one. Costa Nostra, the Crips, Huacheng, which is a Chinese gang, Dub C, the Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
The Yakuza are fucking nuts, so they'll chop your head off just because.
Mm-hmm.
The Bloods, the 18th Street Gang, which is from Los Angeles. They have brutal rules like 18-second beating by their gang members to show respect. They're rivals with the Blood, MS-13, and the Crips.
Mm-hmm.
Los Zetas, which is what a lot of people will consider the cartel.
Mm-hmm.
The Aryan Brotherhood, well, we all know why they are.
Yep.
And then you've got the Latin Kings. So, yeah, Savanio 13 is fucking dangerous. You're never going to hear me say they're not. That doesn't mean we need to fucking treat everyone who has even one fucking tattoo from them like a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking here at some of his orders lately, and
Oh, did you hear what happened to the United States Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem?
oh yes, yes, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny to me because it's like, how stupid can you be?
Yep. All right.
So for those that don't know, and I'm gonna just explain it in the simplest terms and leave Shirley to read the article.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, someone stole her fucking purse that had her ID, her government ID, and cards to get into very secure business places in the government.
Mm-hmm.
That being said,
All
have
right.
fun.
Okay. So here's what happened. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's purse was stolen Sunday night at a Washington, D.C. restaurant. At the time, the bag contained a number of sensitive personal items, including Noem's driver's license, passport, DHS access badge, checks, and roughly $3,000 in cash. Who carries that much around? According to 3 sources briefed, including 2 law enforcement officials. The Secret Service is reviewing security camera footage at the restaurant and has identified a white male suspect who was allegedly wearing a medical mask during the theft. The individual was not immediately spotted by her Secret Service detail, with the bag being discovered lost by Noem herself. Noem was dining at the Capitol Burger, a popular and busy locale near DC's downtown. Her purse was placed against her foot underneath her seat, according to 2 sources familiar. Noem's cell phone was not in the purse, but credit cards, makeup, and medication were among the items stolen. The Secret Service has launched an investigation to hunt down the individual responsible. The investigation will include using security footage shared by the restaurant uh, and items stolen to attempt to trace the alleged perpetrator. The Secretary of Homeland Security, in keeping with her predecessors, receives 24/7 Secret Service protection, and members of her detail were stationed at the restaurant at the time of the incident, according to multiple law enforcement officials. The Department of Homeland Security has not yet replied to a request for comment. CNN first reported the news. Noem's entire family was in town, including her children and grandchildren, and a source close to the secretary said she was using the cash withdrawal to treat her family to dinner, activities, and Easter gifts.
All
Now,
right, so
I can understand the dinner and the Easter gifts, but $3,000 sure is a lot.
yeah, well, they may be under the impression that cash is better than anything, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah,
While I
that's true.
usually agree with that, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a surefire way to put a target on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is some news out of New Jersey this evening.
Mm-hmm.
There, there is a wildfire going on at the Greenwood Forest Wildlife Management Agent area
Mm-hmm.
in Barnegat, New Jersey. It is a 3,200-acre fire, probably more than that by now, and it's only 5% contained. The region right now is in a severe drought, so if you know anyone that lives in that general area, maybe pay a little attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
Please.
it's going to be a bit of problem with smoke pollution. You've got people that are sensitive to smoke, right?
Yep,
Because
yep.
if the winds blow just right, it'll blow right into New York City. So
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yeah, I just want to say it.
hmm
Keep your eye out on that shit.
yeah,
Um, I do say that we do need to do one thing though, sometime.
hmm
You and me, Shirley.
what's that?
We need to do we need to shave Mike down a little bit. Come on, Mike, you better be there because I want to see if you respond to that. I'm just giving him shit. But
yeah.
anyway. So, what else have you found lately on Trump? I mean, it's been a dumpster fire as always, and it's just so hard to find stuff that doesn't surprise me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I will say that I have been looking at some of the other political things, and we've been um, we might actually be in another Great Depression soon. That's scary.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Looks like Pete Hegseth is in hot water again.
Oh yeah.
All right. This all
I
comes.
don't think that man can stay out of hot water.
No. So, the White House offered a robust defense of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Tuesday, today, after reports that the top Pentagon officials discussed classified military plans in a second Signal group chat. Oh boy. Let's see. The president
Yeah,
said.
sure. I got my ass in trouble by fucking around with Signal and sending information there. Maybe I should do it again because it's such a great idea.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, the
Sorry,
president stands strongly
sarcasm.
behind Secretary Hegseth and the change that he is bringing to the Pentagon, and the results that he's achieved thus far speak for themselves. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt told reporters, Hegseth, she added, is doing a tremendous job. Yeah, right. Levitt blamed.
Okay, hold on. Let me just say this
Okay.
before you continue because I gotta do this. Yeah, he's doing a great job at making our national security look like the laughing stock of the entire fucking world. Hell, Russia has better fucking information security than us, and they don't even let fucking Vladimir Putin know 99% of the shit that needs to be done. Sorry.
That's fine. All right, anyway, Levitt blamed former officials who were top advisors to Hegseth for the instability at the Pentagon, suggesting they were responsible for leaks. There were Pentagon employees who leaked against their boss to news agencies in this room, she said, adding, we are not going to tolerate individuals who leak to the mainstream media, particularly when it comes to sensitive information. She referred questions on a leak investigation to the FBI and the Department of Justice, but said that leaks are unacceptable behavior. Though the fired officials were close allies of Hegseth, Levitt also claimed that the defense secretary is the victim of a smear campaign because of the monumental change he is trying to enact.
Okay, if this was a smear campaign, then I'm sorry, but what are we smearing? Because he's already smeared the shit out of himself by looking like an incompetent fucking idiot moron.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Serious talk. Everything he's been doing makes him look like a complete and utter fucking buffoon. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the rest of Donald Trump's fucking cabinet looks like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry for speaking so bluntly, but
Oh, no,
everyone
no.
who knows me knows I'm a fucking blunt person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the meantime, let's see. You probably heard last week where Department of Health and Human Resources Health. I'm try that again. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Let's just say he basically has made everyone on the spectrum who may be on the spectrum and so forth very, very upset. Because here's what he said. Autism destroys families, and more importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which is our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. Really? They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted.
Okay. I can't let this one go.
All right.
And I'm sorry, Shirt.
Would you like this? Would you like the supernova rant rocket?
No, we do not need to rant rocket this.
Okay.
It just needs to be blunt. Okay?
Okay.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you're a fucking idiot. You
Mm-hmm.
are a fucking idiot. Let me put it to you in a way that you can understand it. You want to know something about Beyond the Airwaves? A good chunk of us that are on this show are very much on the autism spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them. Here's the problem. You saying this disparages this show. You saying this disparages everything I have ever lived for. You just saying this makes it seem like people that have autism are bad.
Yeah.
No, no, we're not bad. You want to know the exact difference between me and you son of a bitch? Besides for the fact that I don't spout nonsense out my fucking mouth every chance I get and don't have Donald Trump's fucking cock shoved 12 inches down my throat when his cock is only about 3 inches hard as a rock.
Mm.
Um, the biggest difference between me and you is I actually have 3 or 4 brain cells to rub together and actually fucking think things through.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you don't know what the meaning of the word think is. Otherwise, you would have fucking said something a bit more respectful. But because you can't fucking say, you can't even fucking comprehend that all autism is, and this is all it is literally, is a different way to get from fucking point A to point B in your fucking thoughts. It's like running a different fucking computer operating system. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you most people run Windows, autistic people run Linux or fucking BEOS or fucking Mac OS or hell, even Android.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
and me, it's like I know I know three people in our group at least on the spectrum. I could be on the spectrum. I haven't had a chance to get tested yet to find out. I would
The
like to know
problem that
though.
I the problem that I have with you saying this is that you disparage everyone in the world. It doesn't even matter if they're autistic or not,
Mm-hmm.
because autism is a fucking spectrum. It goes from very, very good, very, very high functioning to very, very low functioning. You just described with everything you said someone who is super low functioning. Oh, guess what? I have family that falls under that, or had, I should say. You son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. So do us all a favor, Mr. Kennedy. Shut your fucking pie hole. Shove a fucking corn cob up your ass and a dildo up your fucking down your fucking throat and stop fucking talking about shit you don't fucking comprehend because you don't have any fucking knowledge of how fucking medical is. You shouldn't have been put in that position. And the only reason you were put in that position is because you gave Donald Trump's little chubby a fucking nice mouth job when he was on the campaign trail.
Okay. Now, he said people with autism can't hold down a job. Okay. Um, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I've never been a fan of Survivor. However, for this season, they actually have someone who is on the spectrum. Her name is Ava Erickson. Okay. Now, she is a PhD candidate in engineering at Brown University. What does that tell you?
Yeah. Oh, Shirley.
Yes.
This whole RFK thing just got even worse.
Uh oh. What's up?
I just posted it in the chat for you.
All right, let me get over there. Okay. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to launch National Autism Registry using Americans' private health. Ooh. Oh, wait, that's cold. That's just cold. Let's see. On April 21st, Dr. J. Bhattacharya, God, I hope I got that name right, director of the National Institutes of Health, announced that the NIH will provide Kennedy with data pulled from a number of federal and commercial databases, CBS News reports. Kennedy, who has previously promoted a scientific debunked claim that autism is caused by vaccines, and we know it's not true, is also launching a new registry to track Americans with autism. I got 4 letters for that. ACLU.
It doesn't even go to the AC. We're not even going to get to the ACLU because the ACLU is probably going to be kowtowing to this shit. The
I hope.
problem is, the problem is, why do autistic people need to be on the registry? You stupid son of a bitch! What is it for? What's the registry for? Is it to fucking label us? Is it to tell everyone that we're pieces of shit because we're autistic? You know, the problem isn't that we had vaccines, you sorry sack of fucking horse shit. The problem is that you don't fucking listen to people. You don't listen to anyone unless it's your fucking butt buddies in the fucking White House and they tell you what you want to hear, because guess what? You love hearing nothing but fucking affirmations and greatness, except for the fact that you're not great.
Yeah, it's just, let's see. What's this remind me of? Remember the X-Men cartoon in the 90s? Of course, they had something called the Mutant Registration Act. You know, all
Oh,
mutants
there's
had.
that, but I got one even more relevant to today.
Okay.
Well, not to today, but to today's entertainment. The Sokovia Accords.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. From the
The
from the
Sokovia
Avengers movies.
the Sokovia Accords basically said, "Oh, you have a superpower? Well, put your name down. You have to be registered and tracked.
Mm-hmm.
All because you have a little bit of a superpower. Oh, big fucking whoop, sons of bitches."
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but
No, it's fine.
this is the kind of shit that pisses me off.
Yeah, me too. Because it's like, excuse you.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna put a couple of our co-hosts on blast a little bit, but not to be disrespectful.
Okay.
Uh, I know for a fact that Mike is autistic, so is Ashley. Ashley right now dispels your fucking statement, you son of a bitch, because she's holding down a job doing fucking uh doing fucking cleaning at a goddamn uh hotel. I'm sorry that it may not be what you would consider the best job, but
Mm-hmm.
who gives a shit if it's the best job or not? You know what? She's holding it down.
Yeah.
And that's all that fucking matters.
Mm-hmm.
You got this job that you have now, like I said before, because you were good at doing fellatio against something that barely even fucking exists.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have no fucking way to talk. You have no right to talk, in my opinion.
Oh, Janet just turned to the chat. She said, "What did I come in on?"
RFK Jr. got himself the job as fucking health Department of Health and Human Services guy by basically choking on Donald Trump's tiny little chicken.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. I'm not. I don't even care if he tries to say that I'm wrong, because I'll just laugh in his face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. That's all you're good for. That's literally all you're good for, is being laughed at. You fuck.
Yeah, because let's just say let's say I find out I am on the autism spectrum, because I'm still trying to figure out where I can get tested for it, but
A psychologist can do it.
yeah, but you see, here's the problem. There's a local place here that does the testing, but there's a 2 to 3 year wait on it. So I'm trying to find other places around the state, but I think I may have found one that's a good one. But I have to figure out how to get time. But what about that? Let's say I am on the spectrum and find I've been on it for years. How come I was able to hold a job at my yearbook place for over 22 years?
How come you've been able to hold down a job where you are now
Yep.
for however long you have?
It is
I'm
now
not
four.
even
It's now 4 years. So I've been able to work for the past 26 years.
Here's the thing that I have a problem with anyone who decides to claim that they have the best interest uh in the people in America and say this shit. If you had the best interest of America at heart, you wouldn't even recommend this type of shit. This is this is this isn't even just about how bad of an idea it is. This isn't just about how stupid of an idea it is. You
Mm-hmm.
want to know what this is about?
It's,
This is about the United States of America creeping ever fucking closer to Nazi fucking Germany. And it's these
mm-hmm.
kind of policies, these kind of fucking ideas that the people in uh in the in Nazi Germany did. Look at this. You had in Nazi Germany, you had a fucking Jew registry
Mm-hmm.
so that anyone that knew Jews that was a Jew was on a registry.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who are on you had people who were disappeared because of the simple fact that they had disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
You had people that were ended just because you had plenty of people who lost their lives in Germany
Mm-hmm.
because of so many different reasons. And you're sitting here telling me that we need a fucking registry for people who are autistic, people who, to be frank, most of us don't fucking want to deal with anyone if we're autistic, because guess what? Most people piss us off.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why most people piss us off? It's because of shit like this.
Yep.
Okay? I don't like people. Okay? Most of the time, I'm very solitary. I hate putting myself out here all the time. But I do it because I feel like I have something to do. And that is putting, making people understand what could be going on. The fact that you are even floating this idea means that you are, for all intents and purposes, a clear and present danger
Mm-hmm.
to everyone in this country. You are not here to give us positive anything. You're here to basically shove a middle finger up all of our asses and tell us all that we're shit, that we don't fucking deserve to live.
Mm.
Do you I'm breaking it down as simply as I can,
Yeah. Which is fine.
but but the fact of the matter is you, Mr. RFK Jr., are right now, as far as I'm concerned, public enemy number one for anyone who has health issues.
Mm-hmm.
You are public enemy number one for any human being who believes, like I do, that my health information doesn't belong anywhere else other than me. You do realize that by even recommending this stupid course of action, you have broken HIPAA. Even though you haven't actually done it yet, you're breaking HIPAA. And as far as I'm concerned, if someone like you breaks HIPAA,
Mm-hmm.
you should lose your job
Mm-hmm.
instantly. What
Yeah.
do you think?
I swear, I don't know. Why do we have a bunch of buffoons in the White House, in the cabinet?
Here's my next question for you.
Okay.
You ask a very good question there, but I got a counter question.
Okay.
Why is it that that the idiots are running everything? Why is it that we have no fucking guardrails up? Why is it that the people who are supposed to be a check and balance of our fucking government
Mm-hmm.
aren't doing a goddamn thing? I'll answer that question right away, too. And you want to know what the reason that it is this way right now is?
What?
Because no one in the fucking Congress right now that is a Republican has any kind of pride in their country. None. There just is no pride in the country by these people. And I'm sorry to say it as bluntly as that, but there's no other way I can put it. These idiots that are running everything have no fucking patriotism. In fact, you tell them to be patriotic, they'd look at you like you are fucking purple.
Mm.
As far as I'm concerned, every single person who is in the House and Senate that has an R behind their name
Mm-hmm.
needs to be fired.
Yeah. Well, anyway, adding this about the autism, a CDC study published on April 15th reported that 1 in 31 children in America will be diagnosed with autism by the age of 8, an increase from the past 2 decades. However, experts widely agree that the increase in autism rates over time is not actually because more people are developing the disorder. Instead, doctors are merely getting better at correctly identifying autism as diagnostic tools become more sophisticated, per NBC News. So
Exactly.
parents shouldn't panic. Dr. Alex Kolovzon, a child and adolescent psychiatrist and clinical director of the Seaver Autism Center at Mount Sinai in New York City, told the outlet, "We're not seeing an epidemic with autism."
Also, no one should be panicking anyway about it
Mm-hmm.
because, like I alluded to fucking earlier, all autism is your brain running on a different fucking operating system. That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Okay? Your brain, everyone's brain does the same basic processes. Okay? We all go A to B to C to D to E. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is what autistic brains do is they go from A to A dot one, A dot one to B to B dot one. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
think of all the fucking possibilities. Okay? For me, that's useful because of my religious beliefs. And it harm none, do as ye well will. So I like the idea of thinking about all possible scenarios. For someone who doesn't think like I do, that could be overwhelming. Doesn't matter. It's still just that. It's just a different way to think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry if you think that's a bad thing, but you know what I say? I find that to be a very good thing because having people who think in that way is a great way to run a business. Here's why. let's say you have an autistic person who's running, oh, I don't know, an air traffic control tower. Okay? Most people can't separate an airline from the people that are on that airline. So, in emergency situations, they can get tripped up over the fact that there's hundreds of people on this airplane that might be crashing and you might be responsible for the death of all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's not a wrong way to think. But as someone who's autistic, because we have to think about our emotions a little bit more, and like for us to be able to express emotions, we have to actually put some thought into them and actually try and figure out what our heart says as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to our brain. Okay? That means that we're able to separate the fact that this plane has this many people on it from the fact from the people fact from the plane fact, and we can give as clear of instructions as possible to the captain of this plane to protect the lives of these people. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Think about like this. If you knew, let me ask you a question, Shirley.
Okay.
And I know you might be autistic, but think about it from a perspective of a normal human. You hear that you have a plane that is having one engine down, you need to get it onto the
Mm-hmm.
ground as quickly as possible without hurting people. And, you know, you've got one chance to make it right.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first thought?
Mm. One chance to make things right. Uh, clean, clean the cabinet out, and have it replaced with the most competent people.
Okay? You want to know what I would think about as an autistic person?
What?
So, this engine is down. That means they're on one engine. That means they have some thrust. So, I can get them to the airfield.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to reduce their height so that the airfoils that make the plane have lift have enough air molecules going above and below that air that aerofoil to allow flight to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would first instruct that plane to descend to 10,000 feet, 10,000,
Mm-hmm.
or as it goes in the parlance, flight level 10. Okay. That'll bring the plane down to about 10,000 feet, which will mean more air molecules, more air to support that plane going. And with more air to support that plane, means that it's going to stay in the air longer.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to give them priority clearance for the entire fucking airfield. So I'm going to go first thing, I'm going to say, you have priority clearance to runway whatever, 22 left. Okay. And then I'm going to tell everyone, anyone who is on or near 22 left, out of the way now. We have an incoming emergency aircraft that needs uh this runway. 22 left needs to be clear. And then I would guide the airplane down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Airplane's down, no one's hurt. Good. Now I ask. I know I didn't ask this before, Captain. How many souls were on board that plane? X, whatever they say.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You can tell them that an autistic person just saved their lives.
Mm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Because we don't think about the worst case scenario. We just think about getting the situation handled and taken care of so that no one dies. All these airplanes uh to people who have autism, all they are blips on a radar. Yeah, we recognize and we appreciate that there's lives on those planes, but we don't let ourselves get caught up in it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yep. Makes perfect sense to me.
Does it make sense to the people in chat? Well, we might not have anyone in chat right now,
Let me
but
see.
yeah.
We got two people in there. It's probably Sajid. Sajid. You know, I'm tired. It's Sajo and Janet, not Sajid.
Well, I'm looking and it doesn't look like there's any, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, my point being, you want someone in security situations. You want someone in life and death situations. You want someone in critical situations that can look at the data and separate the data from the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have the emotion, it can cloud your judgment of the data. Am I wrong about that, Sarah? Because when you allow emotions to take over in an emergency, what happens?
You panic and you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
And you
Mm-hmm.
miss small details.
Yep.
If you can separate your emotions from that data, what happens? You're perfectly good.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong about that, Shirley?
Nope, you're definitely right.
So I'm going to apologize in advance to anyone who thinks I'm wrong, but I'll be blunt. I would much rather have someone who's autistic
Mm-hmm.
be a first responder than someone who's super emotional.
Yeah.
It
But
just doesn't,
I feel
it
like,
doesn't.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, every single person in this crazy cabinet, they're like doing one thing or another. It's like, I don't know if you heard this one. Anyone with student loans, they're gonna start making payments next month. So if you're still defaulting on your student loan, you may be facing wage garnishment.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to make people feel like shit. I'm just trying to make people understand the perspective of, you know, maybe having a person who doesn't drain, feel
Yeah.
the greatest on emotions
Mm-hmm. It's
is
like
better.
it's like Ava Erickson in that Survivor. She was getting really frustrated because she couldn't. Yeah, it's a situation where you have to you have to tilt the table, roll the ball down, but if it gets past the edge, you have to start all over again. She was getting frustrated, but when she got focused, she was able to get it in. But she got overwhelmed by the excitement of pulling it off, and she kind of had a breakdown. But thankfully, someone from a different tribe that she had known helped her get back to, you know, her her
Center.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's a fact. People don't understand that sometimes yeah, we may get frustrated because fuck, shit doesn't fucking work as well as
It
we
should.
want them to, but our ability to think 5 steps ahead
Mm-hmm.
gives us the insight to come up with possible solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Take, for example, here at my place, 2020, okay, during the Durate show. What did I do when we first figured out just how bad it was? Well, I had been telling my wife for a few days ahead of time, just so you know, Monday's going to be shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, Monday is going to be very bad weather. I don't know exactly what we're going to be dealing with,
Yeah.
but be ready.
Mm-hmm. And it was the same
And
way.
then,
It was the same way here. For March 15th, when we were expecting tornadoes. Now, thankfully, we didn't get any Montgomery, but we did get, I think it was 4 tornadoes, and unfortunately, 3 people were in fact killed. So.
but so I let her know ahead, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, okay. And then the day of, I had been hearing information coming out from the National Weather Service that was talking about this being a derecho.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did I do? What did I do? I called her and said, listen, this today's weather is coming out to be a derecho. Be careful. She's like, derecho, what's that? And I
Mm-hmm.
told her,
Yeah.
essentially a land hurricane. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Yep.
And I said, if you hear the sirens, get to shelter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be fine.
All right.
We
So.
got the siren,
Yep.
But the fact that I could separate my emotions from the logic could have quite possibly saved her life.
Yeah.
Granted, where she was didn't take much damage, but
Luckily.
in any other world, it could have. So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and end this, Shirley.
Yeah, because this is about close to time anyway. Anyway, our next show is on Friday with Rotten Apples. So,
Yep.
we're going to have
Everybody
some fun.
who listens,
Yep.
I want to say thank you for paying attention to us today. Please keep your eyes on everything going on that could be problematic.
Mm-hmm.
Do not allow yourself to be
Targeted.
swayed by stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
And as Shirley always says, but then again, I started it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love,
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
love, peace, and chicken grease. Please, everyone, stay safe and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday.
And now I'm going to play the ending. So, hang on, folks. All right, so that's all for tonight. We will see you on Friday. So, peace.
That's all, folks.
Yep, later.